Caris for GuitarBandDVD.org, and I'm here today with David Torn.
That's me.
That's him, yes. We're here today to talk about religion and politics. Oh, just kidding. No, actually, no, we're here today to talk about...
Coffee and food.
Yes.
Fine Italian raw steaks
And right. We're actually going to talk about, guitar. I know it's guitarbandDVD.org, so we tend to talk about guitar. And one of the things that I really was looking forward to this interview is because David is a guy that is, I would say he's about non-stock a player as it gets. You have a very, very skewed view of the world of guitar playing. It certainly comes out in your playing. It's not what... and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, because there's a lot of people that fit very squarely in genre of blues rock or country or jazz, and your playing is really quite different from that, and
which is at least in large part by choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm certain that you can do those things, having seen your licks, but at the same time, you really have a different take on things that. Has gotten you into some very interesting playing situations.
Got me into bad trouble.
Yeah, got you right.
Oh my God.
Well, that's kind of why everybody gets into playing guitar.
I get a weekly ticket from the guitar police.
Do you? A weekly ticket?
Yeah. I get you driving too slow. You're driving too fast. I get your horns honking all the time tickets from the guitar police. But then again, a lot of my friends are guitarists, so.
Right. Well, I mean, personally, I try not to fraternize with too many guitar players.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But, what I'd like for you, because a lot of people know who you are, but for those of you who have been watching some of the other interviews with very different styles of music, I would like you to just sort of talk about some of the people that you've played with that people might know first.
Right. Well, most people, the thing that's difficult for guitar players generally is often on the recordings and the films that I work on is knowing what it is I did as a guitar player. That's can be a very difficult moment for people who will say, oh, but where's the guitar part?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, because a lot of your stuff doesn't really sound like guitar.
That is the guitar part.
Right.
And they'll say, well, it sounds like, I don't know what that sounds like. And you say, well, but I'm telling you, it's the guitar part. So anyway, in the big list of names, like I think I've done a few records with David Bowie, in which my playing is very, very clear and forward. Doesn't sound like a normal session type thing. Tori Amos, Sting. I of course produced the Jeff Beck record that won the Grammy a couple of years ago, and co-wrote and actually played on that, although we don't talk about it too much. I played on one track.
But you mixed that.
I mixed and co-wrote and produced 3 tracks. I did, in fact, do all 3 of those things with
Jeff Beck. Why does that name sound familiar?
He plays guitar.
Yeah.
He's a guitar player.
British guy.
Of indeterminate age, because he
never looks like he ages.
Because he's always in such good shape.
Yeah. And supposedly he doesn't practice much. He's always working on his hot rods or something.
Plays kind of loud. Uses the whammy wah in a way that's very similar to the way I use it. Blah blah blah. I think he's pretty famous.
You think so?
Yeah. So Jeff, David Bowie. I played with Katie Lang, Michelle Indigio cello, Don Cherry, Jan Garbarek, and Eberhard Weber. I've had my own band with Mick Karn and Terry Bozzio called Polytown. I used to play with Mark Isham a lot. I had another band, at least 1 or 2 bands with Bill Bruford and Tony Levin. And I've recorded with Mark Nassif and Mira Tadic. I've recorded with some of Ryuichi Sakamoto in a classical orchestral thing. I've played on hundreds of film scores, many of which are very, very good, interesting film scores, and I write my own film scores now. So I don't know. I'm not good at remembering because there's a lot. It goes back like 30 years or something, so I forget a lot. And I make records for ECM Records again. That's a big thing for me. So that's kind of who I am somehow. If you can figure out what the guitar playing is on any of those discs.
Yeah, so let's talk about
Oh
that.
no, like I played a solo on a John Legend record recently, and I played it straight.
Did you?
Very rare. Yep. Played a bluesy kind of bluesy. If Wes Montgomery played Stratocaster with the
like
thumb
some octaves
and a whammy bar, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you played on a Madonna song too, didn't you?
Well, I co-wrote a Madonna song. Yeah.
Okay.
And in the end, yes, I did play on it. That's
what girls like.
What it feels like.
Or
for
what
a
it feels
girl.
like for a girl.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I have a songwriting partnership with a singer named Donna Lewis, which is very interesting because we actually are probably going to release some of these songs that we've written together. I do the music. Donna does the vocals and melodies. She's amazing.
She has a unique sort of quirky voice, doesn't she?
She is.
Yeah.
She started a fad in female singers that after her last the final like triple platinum record, pop record, we've done something a little bit more interesting, a little kind of like funky, modern, jazzy, somewhat electronic in nature, but not really. It's kind of cool. That pretty much describes me. I can't believe it, but I have my own band called Presence, which is kind of currently on hiatus because of a long-running partnership with one of the great saxophonist composers in the world, Tim Byrne from Brooklyn. And I don't know, I can't list all the stuff, but that kind of shows some of it.
Yeah, you've done quite a few things. Well,
Yep.
you've developed a style, like I was saying, very non-stock, very atypical, and I'm wondering how that came about. I know you have an appreciation for a lot of different types of music, and but you definitely have a style that's sort of, like you said, you can't really tell where the guitar part is sometimes.
Yeah, like if I'm like I play guitar by myself a lot without any electronics or acoustic instruments like the oud or any of the stringed acoustic instruments that I keep around the house, and I often play raw electric guitar by myself. And even in the raw playing, it's kind of been infected by a lot of different cultures of music, particularly Mediterranean, by flamenco music in some ways, certainly by new classical music in a lot of ways, by Arabic and North Indian music in many, many ways, and it's always been like that since I was a kid, and it started really. I kind of let it live. I started really letting it live in my music when I was in my 20s.
You gravitated towards that, and then
just
you
let it
started.
go.
It just sort of started coming out of your pores, huh?
I kind of looked at it and went, yeah, well, why not? Why shouldn't I be able to do, an expression on the electric guitar that sounds more like this instead of playing these two notes. This is an oud, by the way. Instead of playing that, being able to do that with a whammy bar rather than just playing it. Why shouldn't I do that if that's what why shouldn't I have that in the electric guitar playing if it's part of how I play? And then, you add into that my kind of, I guess I studied jazz. I kind of have just as weird a study period of music as my playing.